my name is Morega. I want to talk to you about Hoover, Hypotheses, and Annotations for journalists. So our use case is looking for meaningful data in big collections of documents. And these can either be public data archives, like publications of governments, or financial reports, or big publications by other independent organizations, or they can be leaks, which means a bunch of data which somebody sort of passes along to a journalist. Okay, please don't tell anybody I gave this to you. And these are sensitive. So we're talking about large amounts of data, many, many files. So Hoover is our prototype at the Romanian Center for Investigative Journalism that does search. There are other tools that do this. We decided to build our own prototype that only does search, so we can use other tools for other purposes. It's built on Django with Elasticsearch, so it's actually using the Lucene search engine, which is one of the best there is. And we specifically do not want to think about preparing the data, or about storing the data, or about annotating the data within Hoover itself. Hoover is a search engine. So I don't want to bore you very much about Hoover, because you probably don't care about search. You care about annotations. But just to give a context, this is what it looks like. You have a search interface, you have a search input, and the whole Lucene search expression languages works. You find search results, click on one of them, and you open it up in a web page, and then you can annotate it. We decided to integrate with Hypotheses for this. We also have bits and pieces to connect with our other systems. We use WebDAV for data storage because it's so easy. And security, depending on the use case, we can have different solutions. Maybe even take the whole thing offline. So, again, you probably don't care about search. Let's talk about annotations. Initially, we said, okay, Hypotheses. We take the embed snippet, put it in a web page. We have annotations, right? Well, turns out it's not so easy because journalists have different needs from general web browsers, web browsing public. So let's break this down a bit. So who is annotating? First of all, groups of journalists. Let's say we have an investigation. We have this disparate group of journalists who are working on this data, who have access. But we want to keep in mind that maybe at some stage we want to open annotations to the public, maybe at least for those documents that are public, allow the public to contribute. So a journalist, or generally an annotator, we want to first of all log what they find. Hey, this is interesting. I found some email here, people doing shady business. Okay, let's at least make a note of that. And then maybe I want to link to related content. Let's say they're talking about a contract. Okay, do I have the contract? Let's link to the contract so I can find it easily later. Then I want to share the knowledge with my colleagues. So I don't just want to write notes on a paper. I want to have some sort of system of communicating these things. And then maybe even publish. So when you get to the stage when the article is finished, you also publish some of the documents as support material. Maybe you want to annotate them to enrich them, to make it easier to understand. So I'm trying to follow the model from the W3C talk yesterday morning because I think it maps very well to the needs, and I've actually divided the challenges into easy and hard. These are the easy ones. So we have a bunch of different document formats in a dump, but that's okay because we can convert them to HTML or maybe PDF, so we can annotate those. And they're usually fixed. I mean, they don't pop in and out of existence, they don't mutate. This is not Facebook, right? These are documents on a hard drive, maybe. And we don't worry too much about granularity. We have either annotate the whole document or just a snippet of text. We don't want to annotate a video or a part of an image. I mean, journalists have small needs in this regard. Maybe even put some text or URL as an annotation, nothing more. And again, it's not really hard to open annotations to the public. This problem has been solved. It's the next problem, which is keeping them private. That's harder. So if we talk about keeping annotations private, we have to think about who is our threat model, who are we protecting against. It can be the competition, another journalist trying to get the scoop, right? That's easy. It can be a government or a crime organization who could maybe threaten the journalist, so this is becoming dangerous. It could be a data dump that contains a lot of sensitive private information, so then there's a responsibility to keep that, not publish that. And maybe not tip off the target, so if we were to annotate the company's website, maybe we don't want to do it in a public forum because they might notice we are onto them. Then maybe we want to decentralize the whole thing. So we have various news groups. They usually want control over their work. They're maybe not comfortable putting everything in somebody else's big repository. But then the problem is, how do you share this information among the silos? So I personally really want to look in the protocols that are being developed for this. They look like they could solve the problem very well. And then how widely do you share the annotations? Maybe I just want to take notes from myself. Maybe I want to share them with my colleagues in the same organization or in the whole investigation, or maybe publish them. But I don't want to publish my private notes, I want to publish some nice digested information. And then there's a big problem of finding what we annotated. So, okay, we went crazy, we put a bunch of notes on a lot of documents, but how do we organize them? How do we find the needle in the haystack? So these are challenges that we will have to look into and solve. So I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions on this. And we have a demo up. It's on hoover.grub.ro. It has annotations working. The code is open source. And if you want to talk to technical questions, talk to me. And there's also Stefan at the back, and he's like the strategist journalist. He actually understands the needs better than I do. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alex.